Hey guys, it is Carl Brown from Guitarist365.com. Today we're going to learn how to play Black Smoke Rising by Greta Fleet. Before I get into that, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and ring that little notification bell so you'll know when I release a new video. And please check out my Guitar Academy. The link is in the description. A lot of cool stuff there. And I have a new merch store, a lot of cool, fun designs. I'm adding to it every week, and these designs are only available at my merch store for us guitar players to unite. So please check it out. That link is in the description as well. All right, so we are in standard tuning here for this one, so nothing to talk about there. And we've got some cool riffs and just kind of a semi-distorted tone, mildly gonna let your tone break up a little bit, like just kind of bring it. They use a little bit more live than they do on the recording. So we're going to start with just a little slide kind of up and down the low E string. And then we're going to slide into the 7th fret. And he does that every time he starts this riff. Now this main riff of the song, when you get up here and you're going to play a bar chord after that slide up to the 7th fret, what he likes to do a lot of times is play a note on the lower string and mute the note in the middle, and then have the note on the same finger of the bar on the high E string. So what he's doing that here on this first chord. You have the 7th fret there on the A string, 9th on the D, 8th on the B, and you're not going to really, you hear that a little bit. Sometimes they'll hit it loud, but it's really the most important note is that note, because that's the melody note there in the chords. So we have, but that 3rd string is muted because the index finger is arced. Because if we didn't have that, it would be a E minor 7 chord, and that's not what he's playing. So just kind of jump in, and then do that kind of arc bar, if you want to call it. And then over to this is a normal D major chord. So that's just the 5th fret there on the A string, 7th on the D, G, and the B. Now you're gonna want to play it like this, not like this, because what he does, he lifts up that pinky, so now the note it becomes a D suspended 2nd chord. Strums out a few times, and then hammers go back down to the 7th fret there on the B string. So with this, kind of hammering onto that 7th fret, by the way. Now, I'm going to mention this here. Through a lot of the recording, he doesn't do it, but at certain points he will. And if you just want to do it wherever you want, it doesn't really matter. And what I'm talking about is just doing a full bar across, so it is always also barred on the 6th string. And if you hit that note, hit that in there, you see him doing a lot more live, and it happens a few times on the recording as well. Especially down here, when he does this chord down here. So we'll get to that. But for all of these chords, if you want to add that 6th fret on the same string, you're basically just adding the 5th of the chord in the bass, and it sounds fine. So, and he does it quite a bit. So we have this, and then we have some muted strums there to a B minor chord. That is a bar at the 2nd fret there, and we're gonna have the 4th fret on the D and G, and this 3rd fret there on the B. Hit that one time. Then we're gonna move up to a C major, which is the same chord as this D, but it's down 2 frets here at the 3rd fret. And it's played the same way. With that hammer on, the same thing. So we had this. So all together. And just start the riff over by sliding back up to that 7th fret on the low E. Now, at the end of the intro, he plays that B minor twice, and then the C major twice. And then we get the vocals. I can't sing like that guy. You crazy? I'm not even going to attempt. All right, so then we have the verse section that comes out. So I'm sorry, this is the verse, this intro riff, main riff is also the verse. Then we get to the pre-chorus, which looks like this. The chorus there. So now this, once again, he's using a lot of those, playing the fifth of the chord in the bass. So what this is just a C dominant 7 chord. So that's but what we're going to do is we're going to add the fifth in the bass here. So we have a full bar there at the 3rd fret, okay, across all 6 strings. And then you're just going to basically play the 5th fret there on the D string and the 5th fret there on the B. You really want this to kind of sound like the top note. Play that and then move it down 1 fret to a B dominant 7 with the 5th in the bass. And then he does a little melody, which you can sort of hear it on the recording, but when he plays it live, it comes out a lot better. So we have that same chord. And then he just goes that little melody, which is the 5th fret on the, just move that pinky up to the 5th fret on the B, back down to 4, pick it up, so it's part of the bar there, the 2nd fret on the B, and then back to the 4. So you're going to do that within a strum. So then just go back to the C. So you're going to go back and forth between those 2 chords, and you're going to put that little melody note on the B7. So we have this. Now, when you're playing this, you're really going to want to accentuate those strings, because these are not, he's not really nailing these things. He's really letting the bass player kind of handle those lower notes. So after doing that a few times, we have this. So take that, basically that dominant 7 here, and move it up to the 5th fret. Now when he gets here, you can still have the note on the 6th string with it, but I want you to mute the G string. So just have your bar kind of be across the 5th and 6th string. We don't have this. We don't have that note in that transition chord to the chorus. So that's a little bit different. It's not a full bar. It's just kind of lift up and just bar these 2 down here. That string should be muted. All right, and then we have the chorus, based around 3 simple chords with a little lick in there as well. So we have this. So that's just a G major chord, G major, to the D, to a C. So, and then from here, when we get to C, so that's where that little fill is. And that comes from just lifting up the 2nd finger there, so you have the open D string. And really, you're kind of focus on those bottom strings, so you can really have the melody come out. So it goes 0, 2, then back to 0, then back to 2, then back to 0. So we have this. minor chord, and he does it by starting just strumming it, just kind of raking across the strings, starting from the high E down to the low E. And we get kind of closer to the bridge when you do it. Now, when he plays this chorus live, he'll kind of mix up. He'll throw some stuff that's not on the recording in there, like kind of move it up to this kind of Hendrixy chords up here, but just kind of covering what's on the album, not what he does live. All right, so then the bridge section, we kind of bring it down a little bit. There's actually acoustic guitar on here. I'm just going to turn the volume down a little bit, and we have this. All right, so that just starts with this A minor 7th chord. So it's an open A string, 2nd fret on the D, open G, 1st fret on the B, and open I E string. So just strum across that, nice and easy. And then all you gotta do is move it up, the fingerings up 2 frets, and still have the open A. All the other strings open from the A string across. Do that again. And now we start doing it in more sort of a rhythm. So we have just the same 2 chords, and then upstroke, and then move up into the next chord. Now, when he gets to this chord on the recording, he doesn't do a lot of stuff to it. Live, he does a lot of stuff to it. Kind of does that little pull off from 5 to 3 on the B string, and then picks across the chord. And then he plays down here, he just goes 3, 2 on the A string, and then back. So, but on the recording, you're not going to hear that much. You're going to hear most of this. So it's just up to you what you want to do. The live, what he does with it live is pretty cool. Kind of add this pull up, and then across the chord. But there's nothing really exact that he does it the same way every time. He just kind of messes around with it. All right, so leaving there, we have this little transition chord. Looks like this. So that's just that same chord, the 2nd chord in the in that bridge, but just now add your 3rd finger there, your ring finger at the 5th fret on the A string. And they kind of just build up on that chord and lead you back to the chorus, exact same chorus. All right, so now coming up here, we have the outro chorus, which is for the rest of the song. The same riff we did before. And that keeps going all the way to the end of the song where he does that backward strum of the E minor that ends the tune, just like the end of the first chorus. Now, under all of this, and I say under it because it is buried way down in the mix, is the solo. Which is really just too hard to hear to kind of just pick out the notes because there's a whole chorus that's going on top of it. So you have the whole band and the singer just kind of belting. So you can't really pick up what's going on in the guitar solo, except that it's all in G major pentatonic. So he's kind of the opening lick is kind of just the one you can pick out, and then it just kind of gets lost. Just because this 15th fret there on the B and the high E, and then hammering on the 17th fret there on the B. Play those 2 notes, hammer on the 17th on the B, back to the 2 15s, and then 16, 14. Now from there, do what you want. If you know your E minor pentatonic is the exact same as G major pentatonic, the only thing that makes it G major pentatonic is the G major chord progression underneath it. If it was an E minor chord progression, it'd be E minor pentatonic. So it's the same old. He's going to be messing around pretty much just in these 3 pentatonic shapes, and I'll show them to you, and you can just kind of improvise with them. So the one that I started with is a 17-15 on the high E. By the way, if you're a member of my academy, you'd already know this. And then 17-15 on the B, 16-14 on the G, and then 17-14 on the D, 17-14 on the A, 17-15 on the low E. So from there, we just have the normal, everybody knows this one because of Jimi Hendrix. This at the 12th fret, we all know it as E minor pentatonic, but like I said, in this case, it's G major pentatonic. And it's 15-12 on the high E and the B, 14-12 on the G, D, and the A, and then back to 15-12 on the low E. And he'll do a little bit down on the one below that, so you can just kind of mess around with those two. But if you want to keep going down a little bit, we'll do the next one here for you. 12-10 on the high E and the B. And then 12-19 on the G and the D. And then 12-10 on the A and the low E. So these are just the base. I'm kind of flying through these because these are just the basic pentatonic patterns that you can pick up anywhere. All right. So just. So when he's live, he doesn't really repeat himself. He does just solos with those patterns, kind of differently every time they play. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a very popular track by Greta Van Fleet. They got a pretty strong fan base, so hopefully you guys will enjoy this. See you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.